Erling Haaland hasn't scored from open play in over a month. Foden and Saka are being mass sold, and yet the average scores are lower than ever. If every move feels like a trap right now, you're not on your own. Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel for another FPL video. My name's James and I've got Patrick here with me as usual. And Patrick, it feels like the template is broken.
It really does. We've got AFCON winner Iliman Ndiaye back to save our midfields, Chelsea defence finally looking solid, and a potential Arsenal double game week looming that changes everything. This is a week for the risk takers. If you're brave enough to jump off the big names that aren't performing, you could make a massive jump in rank.
Let's kick things off with the teams to target, and first on the list this week is Chelsea. The defensive stats under the new manager are just too good to ignore. They look organised, they're keeping clean sheets, and their upcoming fixtures are arguably the best in the league. Second is Arsenal. Their defence is one of the most reliable sources of points in the game right now, and with that potential double game week 26 still lurking, most managers will want a triple up.
Everton are third on the list. They pulled off a massive result against Villa last time out, and facing Leeds at home is a prime opportunity for some more points, especially with some key players coming back like Ndiaye and Branthwaite. The fourth spot we're not as confident in, but we've gone with Sunderland. The next two fixtures are grey on paper, and it could still have some value if you need a cheap enabler.
Now moving on to the players to target, and we'll start in goal. Pickford's first, and he's the only keeper to hit 100 points so far this season. He plays Leeds at home next, so looks a great option. Next up is Raya, and he could arguably be ahead of Pickford, but it mostly depends on the EFL Cup news. If Arsenal do get the double game week as we predict, then his stocks will rise up massively.
Sanchez is definitely an option too though. There were some slight doubts about his starting spot in the team, but with the injury to Jorgensen midweek, Sanchez is absolutely nailed. With Chelsea's great fixture run, he's another solid option. Moving into defence, and it's not surprising to see Gabriel keep the top spot. He's a massive threat at both ends of the pitch, and if you don't own him already by now, you'll probably be paying 7 million or more by the time you make the move. Chalobah is next, and he seems to stand out from the Chelsea back line. He's a top scoring Chelsea player this season, 12 ahead of second place Enzo, and with the upcoming fixture, he could continue to rack up the points.
In third place is James Tarkowski. If you're looking for an Everton defender, then he's got to be the number one target. He's hitting DEFCON in most games, and we expect the Everton defence to improve with the return of Branthwaite. Bad news for Michael Keane owners though, like me, but good for the Everton clean sheet potential. In midfield, Rice takes the top spot. He has so many routes to points and is proving to be the best value Arsenal midfielder by far. If you don't have an Arsenal triple up, and they do end up doubling in game week 26, then he's definitely one to target. Enzo's next. He got a lucky assist in the last game, but his XG is unrivaled. He's got massive potential over this fixture run, and his value only goes up when Palmer's off the pitch, since he's second in line for penalties.
Third on the list is Iliman Ndiaye. With Jack Grealish out for injury, the newly crowned AFCON champion should step straight back into the Everton lineup, and possibly even in his favourite position on the left wing. He's good for DEFCON and a penalty taker, so we expect him to hit the ground running. Looking at the forwards now, and this one is interesting because there's such a lack of quality options available. We've put Delap at the top. He did play 70 minutes as a starting Chelsea striker midweek and didn't produce, but he has looked dangerous lately. If we were more confident in his minutes, then he could be a great option, but he's still one to monitor for now. Barry is next. He's played good minutes and scored in 2 of his last 3 games. He's under 6 million and could be worth considering, but only if you're desperate for a new forward.
Yeah, they are both options, but unless you're absolutely desperate, I wouldn't be making a forward transfer this week. There's a couple of big fixture swings in game week 24, so it could be worth waiting a week and moving for someone like Watkins or even Evan Nielsen. Now we've seen who to target, let's take a look at captaincy. Now it should be easy this week. It's Haaland against Wolves, but this isn't the same Haaland from earlier this season, and Wolves have improved massively in recent weeks.
Yeah, Haaland hasn't scored an open play goal in his last 8 matches in all competition. Apart from one penalty, he hasn't scored at all since before Christmas on the 20th of December against West Ham. I can't see a world where he doesn't start, and both him and City need to find some form, so he's a number one choice again this week. We're hoping he can fire his way back into form in this fixture.
If you're less confident in his minutes than we are, or you just want to shake things up a bit, then the next 2 best options are probably Thiago at home to Brentford, or even Harry Wilson at home to the Seagulls this week. Okay, before we get into our team reveals, let's have a quick look back at how our teams got on in game week 23, and I'll start. I had one of those rare weeks where I picked up a red arrow but wasn't too upset by the time the game week ended. It was the 5th consecutive week where the average was below 50, which just shows how tough the game is right now. I picked up 37 points, which was 3 short of the average and 4 points short of my safety score. On Saturday, Enzo got a lucky assist for 6 points and Gabriel picked up a clean sheet plus 2 bonus for 8 points, but nearly everyone else let me down. With only one player on Sunday, the results couldn't have been much worse for me, especially with Pickford getting a 10-pointer on my bench, and I was looking at a massive red arrow at that point. But in extra time on the last fixture of the game week, Van Heck headed the ball down for a Puskas contender of a goal from Costellas, and that 6-point return was massive for me. So it was only a small red arrow in the end, a small rank drop, but without that late Van Hecker, it would have been much worse. How did your team do?
Mine was similar to yours. I finished on 35 points, so 5 short of my average, but only 4 short of my safety score. This was my worst game week rank of the season. Gabriel and Palmer did well for me, with 17 points between them, but there was literally no other player in my team that scored more than 3 points, which was really disappointing. I brought in Rice for Szoboszlai, so was relieved when the Hungarian stepped up and missed his penalty, but not much else went in my favour at all. Let's look ahead now though, and see how we lined up for Game Week 23. James, why don't you start?
Well, I was planning to roll my transfer again this week, but with Gyökeres coming off with an injury, I'll probably be making a move to give my team some cover. So as it stands, this will be how my team sets up, but I won't make the Ndiaye transfer until closer to the deadline in case we get more news. I'm starting Pickford this time at home to Leeds in the last game on Monday evening. In defence, I'm going with a back 3 of Van Heck, Gabriel and Anderson. It's not ideal having Van Heck playing against Anderson and Wilson, but I don't want to use a valuable transfer and don't have any defensive cover to avoid it. So alongside Wilson in midfield, I'm keeping the faith with Foden and Saka. It feels wrong to get rid of either of them at this point, and I'm even thinking of holding Foden longer term. Hopefully Ndiaye's back with the Everton squad and ready to go with a lovely fixture at home to Leeds, and then Enzo has my last spot away to Palace, who are all over the place at the moment. Up front, I'm giving Haaland another chance as captain. I'm confident he'll start and confident he'll get chances in this game to turn things round. My last spot goes to Bowen, who has a decent fixture, and then Raul Jimenez on my bench is the only cover I've got. How's your team lining up for this week, Patrick?
My team's quite interesting this week. I think I'm forced to roll, to be honest. Guehi is now confirmed as a Man City player, so I'm now over my allowance. This basically means I can't make any transfers until I remove one of my City players. They have a great fixture against Wolves this week. Even with their bad form, I'm going to take the risk. So I'm starting with Donnarumma and Guehi at the back. My other defenders are Gabriel, Van der Ven, who both look good this week. In midfield I'm playing Shirky, Palmer, Rice and Wilson. Palmer is the only one away from home, but they all have good fixtures on paper. I'm playing 3 up front again with Thiago, Calvert-Lewin and Haaland, who's got one more chance to redeem himself as my captain, to be honest.
Yeah, looks like we're both hoping for Haaland to turn things around this week. And that's all for this episode. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to drop a like and subscribe so you never miss an update.
Yeah, and you can find us on X at Weekend Fix for all the breaking news and last minute tips before the deadline.
Thanks for watching, good luck this game week, and we'll see you next time.